But when I saw you, how you made $100,000, was able to walk away and be able to put your time into investing in agents and building a business that moved away from you to where your income now is no longer based on your own performance or your own production. That's what really attracted me, in addition to some of the key features that I've learned that Senior Life offers. But our initial meeting was just like, wow, you can really do that with just one company. And then we got into the leads and other features.
How's everyone doing? Good evening. Good evening. My name is David Price. I'm a partner with Senior Life Insurance Company, CEO and president of the Price Group. I have the honor of interviewing Lance Romance. Lance started his career almost 2 years ago, came from a previous IMO, was a big dog over there, issuing over 30,000 a month, hit 100,000 a month within his first 7 months. And he wanted more, and here he is, man. My pleasure to introduce Lance. How you doing today, Lance?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you, David, for having me on.
Man, so it's definitely a pleasure seeing you, man. I love seeing that shirt on you, man. You make that shirt look good, Lance.
Thank you.
So let's talk about, as far as the industry goes, you're still a baby in this industry, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so you got your license not even 2 years ago, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Less than 2 years ago.
All right, and what made you decide to get your insurance license?
I was pursuing law. I was in law for 11 years, working as a paralegal, getting ready to go to law school. And I went to Las Vegas. I didn't like working with a few attorneys, and my girlfriend's dad at the time was a former life insurance agent, and he mentioned to me that you can make really good money doing it. So I honestly got into the business with the intent to make a lot of money. And being in the industry now, not only do we make great money, but I enjoy what we do. Like, I really seen it come full circle with getting a client and then having to file the death claim and being there to support the family and getting them the check and the support that they need to take care of those funeral arrangements. So it's a lot more than just the money. But initially, I joined the industry, David, to answer your question, because I said, wait a minute, I don't have to spend $200,000 to go make six figures in debt for law school. I was like, yeah, sign me up for that. So
That's awesome. So I appreciate your honesty. And I think that's what attracts a lot of people to the business. You know, the one thing I've noticed, just growing older and experiencing more in life, it's the reason why we do things don't end up being the reason why we end up wanting to do them once we to stay doing them. So you're going to law school. You wanted to be an attorney. So let me ask: did you have a passion to be an attorney, or is it something that you knew was going to give you the lifestyle that you wanted?
I think in the beginning it was a little bit of ego too, the prestigeness of saying like I did all this education. I loved my craft. It was estate planning, so it wasn't a injury, personal injury. It was a really nice niche in the law realm. So I really enjoyed it. But I knew at the end of the day, I wanted to be a business owner. So my idea was work really hard, become an attorney, get a law firm, hire other attorneys, and then just focus on bringing in new clientele, retaining new clients, and then have my attorneys do all the work. But it's a lot of work. That's 7 years of schooling. I got 4 done already. Plus, then you need the capital in addition to paying all that debt back. So at the end of the day, Dave, I knew I wanted to be a business owner. I just didn't know what that looked like. But the Lord knew, and I got directed to life insurance. And there's no better way to build a big business without going into debt to do it.
Absolutely, I agree. I've myself always wanted to be a business owner from the time I remember watching like Scrooge McDuck, the cartoon DuckTales and stuff like that, and I wanted to swim in my gold, right? I think that's why I got the picture back there. That's why the girl from my agents got that for me. So yeah, I always wanted to be a business owner. All right, so you decide now that you're gonna switch a different direction and you're to get into insurance. So what was it like, getting introduced to a completely new industry? Tell me a little about the first couple of days, what company you found. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. So I did my due diligence to my best understanding. I went to all the different platforms, ZipRecruiter, Indeed, Craigslist, looking at different insurance companies to try to find the right match for me. And I was led to a company, which I was there for 2 months, gained traction with that company, was grabbing a stack of leads and just going to work. So I got a lot of traction there, but I met a gentleman at my church that led me to a whole nother company, which was the FFL. So I went to FFL and I saw the money that could be made there. But in the beginning, you do meet the challenges of, did I make the right decision? Is this for me? Where my emotions were a roller coaster, David. I don't know if you've had the highs and lows of where you're like questioning your life decisions. Did I make the right choice? Because you had somebody that was mean to you, or you have one where like everybody go in the house and everybody's like, we all need life insurance, sign us up. So you're like, oh yes, you leave the house and you're like, this made a couple grand. So I had that emotional roller coaster where I challenged myself in the beginning if this was the right industry, but I just wavered the emotions. I got really focused and just ran really hard. So with the right mentorship and a strong will, I think things started to click. In that period, I did have highs and lows, but yeah, once I got in, I was like, this is it, man. There's nowhere have I ever in my entire past of my working history where I can go from having no money into my account to buying some leads, going to work, and then having thousands of dollars deposited into my account within a couple of days. So once I saw that, I heard it and people had told me, but having it happen to you, it's like your belief level is just increased like tremendously. And that's when I knew, I was like, yeah, this is it. I just have to find a way to make this work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure a lot of people that are in the industry definitely have heard of FFL. They do an amazing job marketing, right? They are a marketing organization. So, what was your experience like that? I mean, so far it sounds like it was pretty good, right? And then, also, my understanding is you're a $30,000 a month producer. I mean, that's not too shabby. I mean, that's where people want to get, right? People want to get to that 30,000 a month. And I know when people see people making that, they believe that's the promised land. That's where they're trying to get. I believe this your 7th month with FFL, you're doing 100,000 a month, right? And I know that was my target for a long time. So, I think if I remember right, at first you were with FFL and you're with Senior Life. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I had Senior Life as a extra tool in my tool belt, which I'd never really maximized as my primary place to run final expense. I use it as an extra tool because I knew if I walked into a home and a family had 2 policies already, I saw the value in the legacy membership, and I knew how much value it would bring to somebody at their house, especially when they shared with me they want that traditional earth burial, and how it cuts the price in half, and to have an advocate that helps them walk through the process so that their loved ones that they leave behind don't have to figure everything out on their own. So I knew the value it brought. So that was my extra tool in my tool belt on rare occasions. But I never took leads, or I never really explored that as a full-time option. It never approached itself. It was just an extra tool in the tool belt.
So at this point, what I'm getting is, like I said, 30K a month producer, 100K in 7 months. You got all your tools, you got all your carriers, you got everything you need to be successful. I mean, It sounds like in your head you made it, and this was your home. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It felt really amazing to say I was a fully licensed broker. I can walk into any house and I got 20 different carriers. What do you guys need? We'll insure everybody except the dog. I got this, right? But what I shortly realized, and I think this is going to kind of lead into what we really want to discuss is, well, why leave? Why leave FFL? And I think the key thing that really stood out was the leads. So we're using 20 different carriers to write business with, but then we have 20 different companies we can choose to get leads. And getting leads aren't always readily available to everyone in certain areas. So for instance, going from Nevada to Florida, I thought I could replicate what I had there. Then I shortly realized, well, this territory is locked out. I can't get the leads that allowed me to write 30, 40,000 there. So what do I do now? So I had to figure out, try to restructure my business. But so there's not equal shares in the leads. And this is what really put me in a stump, because the one thing that I could control is my activity, David. I knew if I go to work, I can make money. But now if you can't get the very thing that allows you to go to work, which are leads, and leads, if you guys are out there watching and you don't know what a lead is basically a form, whether it be on Facebook or a form that arrived in the mail that's a prospect filled out inquiring about life insurance. So that's a lead. So we would then we pay a small price to get that lead to go able to service that family. So when I came out here, I wasn't able to get any leads, David. So I had to reevaluate my whole life decision. Like, well, was moving out here the right decision? I thought I was going to get closer to some of the more VPs within the hierarchy of that organization that I am.
Your neighbor now, huh?
Yeah. And I was like, well, it wasn't met with warm welcome. So I had to figure a way to try to get my business. And then I knew Senior Life had leads, and I was told that their conversion ratio is really high. So, and that's when I contact Doug, who reached me, gave me your contact information, which led into you and I having a conversation. So, and that's a whole nother conversation about, about leads. And I hope we can make some time about talking about leads and the huge contrast from a IMO to an insurance company that has their own leads. So I hope we save some time for that, okay, David? Because I want to circle back.
We'll have some time. I know you're excited and you got a lot has happened in the last couple of months. So let's talk about that phone call, right? You don't know me, I don't know you. This is the insurance industry, right? There's smoke and mirrors. People want to sell people. Everyone wants to recruit. You're obviously a smart guy, going to law school, a big producer. You get on the phone with me, right? You remember that? You remember that conversation? You remember how that went?
Yeah, you want to walk me through it again?
So if I remember correctly, I remember talking to you and hearing you were a sharp guy, right? And then I think we met in person, right? Is that when I showed you basically, what I've done in my short period of time. Yeah. And you basically, at that point, you had no desire to be exclusive with us. You had no desire to be part of the price group. You just wanted to adjust your sales, basically. That's what I got out of it. But after that conversation, I believe you're thinking a little bit differently. Do you remember that? Maybe what is it that interests you to really rethink, instead of just adjusting your sales, jumping out of one boat and into a new boat?
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that attracted me over, but one of the key things is a success that you were able to create in such a short period of time. And I was almost in a dumbfounded of like, he created all this with one insurance carrier, because at my mindset was still, you're just one company or one tool in my whole tool belt. I couldn't comprehend the fact that you can do so well with just one tool and become a master or an expert with that one tool. I thought you still needed everything else to bring that income in there. And when I saw how quickly you were able to transition out of the field, it blew my mind. I think you were just over a year before you were able to walk out of the field, and never have to write a policy again.
Yeah, basically, I got my license in May, and then the following June was the last time I wrote a policy.
Yeah, and that's blew my mind, because I saw organizations, making 300,000, 400,000, 700,000, but that person in the organization is still writing business. So I started to ask myself, well, what's really going on here? If this person the whole team is doing 700,000, there should be enough spread to never have to write a policy. So I didn't see that. I couldn't make all the connections yet, David. But when I saw how you made $100,000, was able to walk away and be able to put your time into investing in agents and building a business that moved away from you to where your income now is no longer based on your own performance or your own production. That's what really attracted me, in addition to some of the key features that I've learned that Senior Life offers. But our initial meeting was just like, wow, you can really do that with just one company. And then we got into the leads and other features.
So it sounds like I had what you wanted, what you were going to law school for. I had the law firm with all the attorneys. I was bringing business in, huh?
Yeah, big business in 1 year, and you didn't have to go into debt to have it.
Awesome, man. So you decide to jump ship. You know, you leave your present IMO. You jump all in with the Price Group and Senior Life, and you know, another big transition happened in your life, right? You went from being a field agent to a telesales agent, right?
Yeah.
How was that? Because again, that's something that I don't think you were set up to do. You didn't know was available, or you didn't think you could be
No.
successful, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I was very adamant about, hey, I like people. I want face to face. I like people. That's the most rewarding. And I was like, no, during the pandemic, I used to set appointments. So setting appointments meant I was going to get 2 to 3 no-shows. That's just the law of large numbers. So I was so accustomed to meeting face to face, getting a couple no-shows because they were over scared about the pandemic. And you approached me with an idea like, have you considered telesales? I was like, I thought about it, but in a great distance, maybe not right now, where you challenged me in that. And I said, well, let's do it. And I think I trained or shadowed someone for 3 hours. And the rest of the day I was on the phones. Next day, got my first sale off it, or helped my first family. Then the day after, and I haven't looked back since. So it's very nice to know that you have the option. So I have the option. If I preferred just face to face and wasn't challenged to get on the phones, I could do either or and succeed in this with this company. But transition over to the phones, I realized I can help so many more families nationwide, opposed to just in my little county where I can only drive to.
Absolutely. I, myself was a field agent, and, seeing the phones and the freedom, right? Because that's the whole thing. I got my insurance license not to be an insurance agent, not to be an insurance agency. I got my insurance license to build freedom, right? And the phone is really that freedom, right? Having to go to people's houses for appointments that they don't show for is probably the opposite of freedom, right?
Yeah, sit around for 3 hours. What do I do with my time now? Get back on the
Exactly.
phone. So
That sounds like prison. That sounds like prison. That's the
yeah,
anti-freedom.
yeah, but it's so nice, David, because now I have more time where in between calls, I can have agents call me and ask me certain things that I could know before. I couldn't take those calls. I can now take those calls. I have more time to build a business than just worry about running appointment to appointment. That gave me so much more freedom, because now my schedule was 4 days of producing with 1 to 2 days building, and it's transition. And now I've seen the traction start to come together. Now things really gain traction of being able to help more agents advance their production and their building, because I have more freedom, to do both. To where now, for instance, like I think in the last 2 days, it's like 6,900 in AP, and Monday was supposed to be a call day or a producing day. It turned into a building day. So that shows you the freedom that's available, that if I just get on the phones, I'm able to make money, David. I'm not stressed like, oh, I can't, sorry guys, I can't help you today. Or, I'm sorry, this business is closed today because I have to go produce to make money. Like, no, I'm able to still take calls to people who inquired about, what is this Senior Life? What is the Price Group? Like, why would you leave something if you were doing so well? What's going on here? And I can take the time to explain and explore and share the opportunity with other people who know me or who don't know me. But now I have that flexibility that I didn't have in the field, nor did I have at that previous IMO.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. The phone definitely is freedom. So another thing. So February was your first full month on the phone,
Yeah.
right? Issued over $23,000 in premium. I mean, how did that feel going from thinking that you can't do that on the phone to being very successful on the phone?
Okay. My first thought was like, I'm going to have to work a lot more because I'm not running mortgage protection anymore. Mortgage protection yields a higher AP, but it's just more upfront money with bigger chargeback with no renewals. So I had to realize, well, look, what I'm doing, yeah, the average AP is going to be for final expenses around $80. I might have to write more policies, but not do I only get the front end money, the advance, but I'm getting a lot more on the back end. So it changed my whole perspective. Like, okay, so like me writing 22, 23,000, that's great. That feels really good on the front end too, but I get to see that income on the back end. It's not for me to just, oh, I wrote $1 million this year, but none of that's back end money. Like I get a lot of back end money that's going to carry me to where I can get out of the field faster to be able to utilize my time more building the business. So I don't have to hang around trying to build $1 million agency, still running appointments and still meeting clients face to face. So it gives me more freedom. But hitting that 22,000, man, I was like, anything's doable now. Like my reservations of like, okay, well, maybe these clients I can't get a hold of, I'll put this stack over here, so maybe I can door knock them later. It's solidified. Like, no, being on the phone is efficient. I don't have to charge my car every day. The biggest problem insurance agents have is somewhere to use the restroom, because you're going from appointment to appointment. So there's nowhere to stop off and use the restroom. And if you're in Nevada or a state that's locked down, going into a gas station, you got the bathroom locked. You're like, where do I use, where do I urine? So it's like, yeah. So, but yeah, no, I love it, David. Being on the phones is giving me a lot of freedom to build my business, help the agents, and still protect families. It's so great. I mean, yeah, it's the best of both worlds. I couldn't ask for a better opportunity.
Awesome, man. One of my other, and also you just had a $10,000 week, right? Mm-hmm. That's
yep.
awesome, man. Broke the $10,000 week in a bear. I know you're excited about that. I was excited to see that. I mean, that's a serious number, man. That's serious.
And David, I will say, here's another. Oh man, you get me excited. So, when you're passionate about this, I could go on for hours about this, you guys. But when you're writing smaller AP, meaning let's say an $80 a month, $100 a month, not the $300-$400, you don't have to worry about the chargebacks. And you know that if one falls off, you don't feel it because you're writing so much. So that 10,000 is really 10,000 because you have all these different ones, and it's all, you guys, simplified whole life issue, which means it's an instant decision. It's not where it's fully underwritten and you have 6 to 8 weeks to get them the lab work. You got to get them to do the physical exam to get them approved, or have they call it a paramed, where somebody has to come out and do the blood, the urine, and the lab work, and then the physical to see if they're healthy enough. This is all simplified whole life issue policies. We're going to get a yes or no by the time we complete the application if they've been approved or not. So it's instant decision. It's real money. If one falls off, I don't feel it. Opposed to like, yeah, I just did 10,000, but I wrote 5 policies. I feel 2 fall off and really only issued 4. Like this is 10,000 that really issued $10,000 worth of income. It's annual premium, but 10,000 means 10,000 worth of income.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, we're talking a little bit too about building and the freedom of being on the phone, right? And I think I was able to help you out a little bit Friday, right? Because I know you want to build an agency, and I know being in the field, it's something that would have been a struggle. So tell me a little bit about Friday, what I did for you, and if you've seen anyone do that for you so far in the industry, or even hear of anyone doing that for their agents.
I've never experienced it until you made that way, David. Again, you're somebody who leads from the front and you make everything available to me. So it's not like I feel in competition with you where you're trying to hide what's working so that I can't duplicate it because you're afraid I'm going to approach what you're doing, that I'm going to be taken from you, where, when we get to leads, that's how it kind of feels. But you put, I don't know, was it like 15 or 20 appointments on my calendar to where I was just able to go from appointment to appointment. So, hey, you inquired about us. You're looking to get a position here. And I was able to just go from interview to finding the people that were, yes, hey, I'm interested. What's the next step, Lance? And then I was able to get them the schooling they need so that they can get licensed. But yeah, to look at my calendar, after talking to you Thursday and then see, wow, I got all these appointments on my schedule for Friday for me to talk to people who are interested in doing what we do. I mean, it's amazing. And then from that, it's just since developed, and just listen to you. Obviously, you built a big business really quickly. So you're somebody who I want to emulate or mirror after. But you make it available to me as well. So having those platforms where I can get resumes, I can get people who want to know more about what we do, is very important.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, my goal is to duplicate myself, and that's my real goal. I don't just say it because it sounds cool. I'm trying to make a lot of me's. All right. So we're talking a little bit again. So now you've been with us. I think January. You went all in with us. I think that's when you finally, right. In the beginning, I remember I was giving you some time, right, because there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in this business. I didn't want you to leave your ship. I wanted you to take a good look at our boat, look at the yacht, make sure you liked it, make sure it was good, make sure the temperature was good for you, before making you make your commitment. But you did make that commitment, and this has been my home from day one, right? The only thing I know about what else is out there is from interviewing people, from hiring people from different companies, different IMOs and stuff like that, right? But we got a lot of people watching this video, right? And a lot of people are looking at these different companies out there, these different IMOs. Should I join the price group? Should I join another IMO? What's going on with Senior Life Insurance Company? Break it down for us. Tell us what is different and what made you to be happy about your decision and not want to go back.
Yeah, thanks. The great thing is, David, you didn't give me a lot of pressure to make my decision right away. I think had you said, Lance, I need you to be all in or don't come with us, I would have probably pushed back because I was very familiar and comfortable with what I was doing. But what you presented to me seemed like a real solution to build something great. Not because you were telling me this, but because you showed me this. The type of income you were able to create in such a short period of time, but then the leaders that you brought on board that are creating success as well in this short period of time again. So coming on, I was like, well, you gave me the freedom, the flexibility to kind of come on my own terms in the sense of like, I'm going to explore. It took me about a month through prayer and really challenging and seeing, do I really want to give up all these companies I work with? It felt like I was giving up so much. And I was like, what, am I going to be gaining so much back? So I had that inner turmoil of like, but I'm a fully licensed broker. I can do anything for anybody. And when I got over the challenge of being a jack of all trades to wanting to be a master of one is when I really started to make headway, because I saw that you were able to make so much success with just one company and that this company does everything. And some of the key things that I've taken away since then now is that the lead flow, like we create the own leads, like Senior Life has their own leads. We're not using a third party lead system and then having to figure out which one of the 20 lead system private vendors works. And then somebody has that locked out. Now I can't get that lead. Or if I'm here making 300,000 running mortgage a year or 400,000 a year running mortgage, and then I have somebody I bring on board and they're like, Lance, I want to do exactly what you do. Show me what you do. And I'm like, okay, but you're going to have to run final expense or find some other leads because you can't emulate what I do because I have this lead vendor locked out. So when I came on board, I saw that everybody was afforded the same type of leads, David, meaning somebody could have been working with Senior Life for 10 years or coming in brand new. They both have the same access to the same amount of leads in the same territory, which was amazing to me because now I really had a duplicatable system. And that's all I've ever wanted, because the more specialized I became, David, the more I became this great producer that had all these tools, that had these special skill sets and tactics, the less duplicatable I became. So I wanted to appeal to the masses of how people can go from trading time for money to now having flexibility of being able to come in and create a whole new income for themselves, completely change their social economics, be able to put their kids in schools that they never thought they could afford, and just build up their self-esteem, where yes, money doesn't solve everything, but neither does being broke. So like you now have access to therapy, you have access to being home to where I don't have to stress living paycheck to paycheck, or in this industry, commission to commission. So when I sat back and I really assessed, when I put all my cards on the table, I knew that the most important thing was going to be lead flow. I said, if I can take care of lead flow, because I have the ambition, I have the drive, I know I'll put the activity. I go, that's my problem. And you solved that, David. You said, Lance, we got direct mail. And in some states, they're only $25. You get complete access. You give me the zip codes, I'll make the drop, which blew my mind. Meant I can have 20 brand new leads in one zip code where I didn't have to drive an hour in one direction, an hour in another, and try to time everything. I can have 20 brand new leads exclusive in one zip. So you showed me that. Later, I mean, you told me about the telesales where we get live transfers with the client on the phone. That didn't appeal to me because I was still doing fields, but I'll hammer home on that. But fresh Facebook leads where there's photos of caskets so people know what they're filling out, not this ambiguous ad, but people know what they're getting. And then web leads where people went on the internet, searched our website and filled it out. So you presented that to me and I was like, man, these leads are affordable. They're exclusive, never resold. And if I didn't sell or if I didn't protect that family where the lead's being resold to somebody else in 30 days, like how much more pressure as I, the agent, can feel when I'm like, hey, I need to meet with you this month. If you don't meet this month, like the deal's off the table. They're gonna be like, whoa, I don't want you coming over my house. So it felt so much more relieved to know that you solved my problem, which is lead flow is cash flow in this business. Just like if you have a storefront, if you ask me, David, how many people do you want to come into your store and purchase things? Do you want 20 people this week? Do you want 30 people that are interested or 40 people? I can say, David, have 20 people come into my storefront. And that's what leads do. If I was a storefront business, it dictates to me how much my income is going to be for that week, because I can tell you how many interested people inquired about our service that I'm willing to go out and serve. So you solve that problem. Then we talked about the commission and the structure and my ability to rise above the person that, let's say, introduced me to the opportunity, and that it was very transparent. I knew what production number I needed to get the next bonus or the next raise. I knew very transparent what it was. And then here, you guys, one more key thing. Wait, I don't need employees and I don't have massive amount of overhead, David? You mean I don't need a recruiter? I don't need an assistant. I don't need a huge office space where I'm making 30,000 and 10 of it's going back out to overhead, not minus lead expenses? It blew my mind, because now where I'm in the position is when I'm working, I get to work. I don't have to follow up with policies and seeing if they got approved, if they have to do the paramed, where they're at, calling 20 different insurance companies and asking them where we're at with this policy, with this policy. I now just let the home office do what they're supposed to do. And I do what I'm supposed to do, which is go out and protect families while having the flexibility of building the business at the same time. So it afforded everything I could ever ask for in an IMO or in an assurance company, which was leads so that I can make money immediately, because that was my initial need. You eliminated me having to spend all this money on overhead to expand the business. So I realized and assessed, I put all the cards out on the table and I saw that this was the best outfit for me. And now being in it, I said, man, I could do telesales or field sales. So going back to the leads, now I get live transfers where people are on the line asking for our services and say, hey, David, I saw the commercial. I don't have life insurance, but I think I need some. Sure. And the person at the call center gets their information, transfers over. I have David on the line. He would like to speak with you. And then I have a live inbound call. Matter of fact, 3 of the families I protected today were inbound calls. I still do a lot of good amount of outbound, but it's so nice to know in the midst of me calling outbound, I can get a live call coming in that I didn't even expect, and that just came right in. So I think that shuts it. Oh, the commissions, very transparent. Everybody starts at a certain rate and you can scale up easily. It's fully transparent. And I've been able to since increase my commission levels since being at the price group, I think, to several times. So it's definitely doable for people out there if they're wondering. So I don't know, does that answer your question, David? I can go on, man. There's so many things to touch home because
you definitely answered a lot.
Yeah, we make real money and we help real families. And you're not going to have to sell your neighbors, your friends, your relatives that don't want to talk to you because they know you're going to try to approach them with life insurance. Like, we're helping people who want our service. And as a byproduct, my family knows what I do. So yes, I've got more warm market inquiries, but our primary audience are people who want our service, 40 to 80. We serve anybody. So if I get a lead and they're 22, or if they're 82, I can help anyone from 0 to 85, an infant to 85 years old. Everybody gets approved. One carrier, the carrier tells me if I knew nothing about life insurance, and if I could read questions off an iPad, you already know how to do what we do, because that's all we do. Literally from 0 to 85, we insure anybody. I simply input their information, what medications. The computer or e-app tells me exactly what product to write them. No guessing. Not having to call my mentor. That's one of the frightening things, David, is you hire 50 people or 80 people. You're like, now I got 80 people calling me, asking me what company to write out of these 20 companies. This person's got COPD with insulin. Where do I put them? This person calls, hey, we had this conversation yesterday. I told you it's that carrier. Now it's like, no, the e-app does the work. So you have a real job. When you say you're a manager, now you're just really managing people instead of being, a customer service where people are calling you to ask you what product to write.
Man, you're on fire, Lance, man, and your passion to help people is great. So it's Wednesday, and how many people you hire so far this week?
I think we topped out at like 5 right now.
You got 5 people hired so far this week.
If these last 2 that we talked today get their, not to mention the 3 on Sunday, but if we get these last 2 to fill out the registration with us, that'll make 5 with the other 2. That'll make 10 people this week, and it's only Wednesday, you guys.
10 people, man. So if you want to join Lance, you better do it now before we got a full boat. That's awesome, man. I mean, dude, it's definitely been a pleasure. I talk to so many people, right? I think everyone knows that. I have hundreds of people applying every day to work with me, and it's very rare that someone catches my attention that I say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna take a 2.5-hour drive and we're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk about this, and you definitely got my attention. I felt your passion. I felt that we really had a lot of the same goals, man. So I'm definitely glad that we're able to sit down, and you gave me the opportunity to show you black and white what I've done. And I think anyone that really sits down with me that's like-minded and they look at what I've done black and white, I mean, there's not much you could say about that. There's not too many people in this industry that's done that. There's very few that I know of. If any, I think Ron Powell, I'm trying to chase his success actually. It took him 5 years to become a 7-figure earner. So in this business in a single year, and I'm working on beating that. But more importantly, I'm working on having more 6-figure earners than Apple, right? That's the goal. What about you? What are some of your goals with us, man?
So, man, I absolutely love it here, because the numbers that we actually make are real numbers. They're not overinflated to make people feel like, oh man, I'm at 130% commission. And then you look at what the final expense, you're like, wow, that's not what you're really making in final expense. So our numbers are real. There's plenty of opportunity to grow here. So looking at what I'm doing, Dave, I'm going to be not out of the field because I'm not in the field, but I'll be done writing policies, I say by September, because at the rate that people are seeing that this is a real company that are helping real families and the value that we offer, I'll be never having to write a policy, I say by September. So within less than a year being here, I will be out of the field, or I guess I don't know a word because I've always been in the field. I guess I'll stop writing policies and focusing on strictly building. I would say by September. That's my goal. That's my drop dead goal, is to be done by September, never touching a policy, not because I don't love it. I absolutely love protecting families, but I want to maximize my focus on helping agents go out and protect families and build their business. Because again, you modeled it. I know what it looks like to do. You showed me exactly what I have to do. It's just a matter of going out there and finding like-minded folks, people that want to take a chance, switch industries. Again, I came from an industry that was law, 11 years, plenty of schooling. And I found this opportunity to be where it's available to anybody. You don't need a prestige background. You can be a single mother. You can be somebody in their late 50s and 60s. There's no right demographic. There's no race, creed. You can have any background and come and excel and make six figures. I honestly believe if you follow the system, your first year, you can make six figures. Yes, that six figures may look different than someone else's, maybe 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. What I'm on track to be pacing this year, well over 300,000. But I honestly believe joining the price group and working with Senior Life, you can absolutely your first year with zero experience. And if you are experienced, if you dummy down and forget what you know and allow us to coach you, you can actually duplicate and scale your business to where you're making six figures your first year in the industry. So my goal, David, to answer that, sorry that went off track. I just love what I do. And I want to make sure the people that are watching know that this opportunity is available to them. And no matter what their background is, as long as they come with a great mindset, attitude, and they're willing to do the activity, that they have the ability to write their own ticket and their own income, and they'll never have to have someone dictate to them on what their hourly rate is. So out of the field September, I want to open a call center by June, July. So those are my big goals these 2 years, David. Those are my short-term goals. Out of the business or out of the field by September and call center by June.
I love it, man. I love it. And like I always say, man, let me know what I can do to help you accomplish your goals. There's two more things I definitely wanted to touch on before we left. We're a little bit longer than we are, but you've been giving us so much good information that we don't have a time limit. This is our channel. We can stay on as long as we want.
That's right, baby.
When I speak with brokers, right, the biggest thing is like, they talk about serving the client and having all these tools to serve the client and stuff like that. And obviously, we want to serve our clients, right? Our niche is final expense. And so how do you feel about the product that you are selling, that you're helping your clients with?
Absolutely. I used to think, well, if this other company is $2 cheaper, maybe they should have this company. And I shortly realized when I was in a home or I'm on a phone helping a family, they're buying me with this policy. And what I mean by that is I'm the person that's assisting them now. I'm going to be the person that furthers the system when that time comes. So when they purchase the policy, they're buying me because I'm accessible to them and their family. Now, the value that Legacy or Senior Life offers that exceeds just another life insurance company, some of the key bullet points here, David, is that Senior Life pays the death benefit within 24 hours of them getting a signature from the mortuary confirming their passing. All the other companies out there take a 6 to 8 week process because they require death certificates to be able to issue that death benefit check. And most of the clients that we serve don't have 15, 20,000 just allocated in the bank for a burial. So here we are able to put something in place to protect the family, but we're going to get them the money within 24 hours. This plan was initially intended for anyways. What good is it to get a policy with another company that might save them $2 more a month, but then they have to wait 8 weeks to get that check and then keep their family on ice? Like I get these calls, David, still people don't get their money from other companies. Because it takes 4 to 6 weeks, it's tied up. Here we are able to offer and get them the check within 24 hours. We have the Legacy Assurance, which significantly discounts the cost of a funeral. On average, they're able to save them more than 50% of what their total cost of the funeral itself is. The average cost of a funeral nationwide is between 10 and 12. And to say we can come in and do it for less than, save them more than 50% on that, is tremendous. And they can pre-plan it with us. So they can pre-select everything if they choose to. If not, we're going to work with their advocate when they pass. So I first had to sit back, David, to realize the value that I was bringing, saving them thousands opposed to them paying $2 more. Like, are you going to step over dollars to pick up pennies? Like, that doesn't make sense. So when I first thought, oh, well, I need to, whatever's best. And at the end of the day, what's best is getting the client the money the fastest, because that money is intended to take care of their funeral arrangements. That money isn't so that they can go buy a second house, go refurbish their yacht or something like that. That money that they're inquiring about, because it's usually $1,000 to $30,000 policy, is to take care of the immediate needs. What's the immediate needs? Pay the rent, put food in the fridge, and the absolute burial cremation. That's what it's initially intended for. So why was I getting caught up in this fathom that, oh, I need to have all these companies to walk into a home to try to get them, a dollar, save them $1 here, $2 here, when I have the best product? We are the superior product in the final expense industry. We can't be beat for what we do for the client itself, and then what they do for the agents. I mean, it's mind blowing, David. We have endless amount of leads that we don't have to worry about people encroaching in our area. So like, for instance, I run in South Florida. There's a lot of agents. So it's a big market for final expense in South Florida. All I got to do is communicate with you and Doug. Doug, I need 20, 40 leads in this zip. 3 weeks later, I'm getting them. I say, Doug, what zips you got available? I get them saturated, condensed. So I'm not driving north Broward County down to Miami, all over the place to get the leads. So in retro, like, I guess looking at it as a whole, David, I really got, the more I did it, the more I learned, and the more I realized the value that I was bringing. So the more my conviction and confidence came about, because once I got that call, for instance, like knowing that when somebody passed away, that all they had to do was cut a check for $4,000 to take care of a traditional earth burial with an amazing casket is mind blowing. Is absolutely mind blowing. And to know that 4 of their family members can benefit from the same membership, just because one family member saw the value in it and they decided to add 4 other members, and then if one of those 4 family members pass away, I now can take that person that bought the policy can take care of that person's burial for a fraction of the price. It's just absolutely mind blowing, the value that it brought. So I know that was all over the place, David, but I knew that it was one product. It does everything it absolutely needs to do for somebody that's in the market for buying final expense. We're not talking to people that are 26-year-old looking for a $250,000 term policy for 10 years. We're looking at people who want to take care of an immediate need when that time comes. Our clientele is from generally 40 to 80. Now there are outliers. People are younger than that, people older than that, but that's our primary audience. And what they're looking for is that when they want to know that when that time comes, whenever the good Lord calls them home, if it's tomorrow or 10 or 20 years from tomorrow, that they have something in place to take care of those immediate needs, so that their spouse isn't trying to figure out how they're going to pay the rent and figure out how they're going to take care of their burial or their whatever it is, cremation, whatever their funeral plans are, that they know that their family member, their spouse, is going to be left with money to take care of those needs.
Absolutely, man. I definitely feel the same exact way. I love how passionate you are again. So we talked a little bit about the product, and another big thing I wanted to bring up, which to me is a big deal, right? Because a lot of times when I'm interviewing people and they say, "Oh, I'm looking at all these other companies," and I'm like, "No, you're looking at, I'm looking at these other insurance companies." They said to me, "I'm like, no, you're not looking to work with any insurance company. You're looking to work with an IMO, an independent marketing organization, right? That's not an insurance carrier, where we are the insurance carrier." Right.
Yes.
So tell me what the difference is working with an IMO, because you got a lot of experience doing that.
Yes.
And actually having the relationship directly with the insurance carrier, that's not even just an insurance carrier. It's one that's open, that's ran and operated by agents. If you could hit on that a little bit for everyone.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up, David. First one that comes to mind is I don't have a bunch of expenses. So the money that gets deposited into my account, I get to keep it. I mean, mind blowing, right, David? I do the work and I get to keep the money. I don't have to have it go back out to all my overhead. Mind blowing. At an IMO, you got to have an assistant, because if you're writing $20,000 and above, you can't follow up with the policies that you issued because you don't have the time. When you're running 8 to 10 appointments a day, you don't have time to get on the phone and call insurance company and say, "Hey, where is Bob Joe's policy at right now? Why hasn't it been processed?" That call itself, just to get to somebody, sometimes takes 30 minutes. So, you have to have an assistant if you're running over 20K at an IMO. So then you say, well, how am I going to build this? Because I'm working so much, I don't have time to build. So now I have to hire a recruiter to do the building for me. So now you hire somebody who's never ran insurance, doesn't know what it looks like every day to day, trying to hire other people who are interested in getting in the industry that may have 0 to none experience. So now you just got 2 employees. Well, you need an office to house these employees. Now you got an office. So now you just incur all these expenses to do what? To build exactly what I'm building here without none of that. I have 0 overhead. I don't have an assistant because I don't need one, because I have an insurance company that does it for me, David. So that's an advantage right there, is having the insurance company, the home office, do what they're supposed to do, which is issue policies, resolve whatever matters, so that I could be freed up to issue more policies or to build. So that's one of the key things, is overhead went down. Contrast to is I get the leads directly from Senior Life. Senior Life is not trying to make a profit on leads. They're here to give me the leads so that I can go out there and bring in right business to build my business, make more money for myself, but also bring in more clientele for Senior Life. So their whole intent of making a lead is they want one that works. They're not just trying to sell leads. This isn't a lead vendor saying, hey, it only costs us $20 to generate this, but we're going to charge you $80. Or, to where they'll tell me, oh, these are the best leads, they're exclusive. And I call them and it's 7 people already talked to them saying, you're the 7th one to call me today. Like, wait, how's that possible? I just got it. So I left all that behind, David. And now, like, a lead is a lead. It's somebody who inquired about our services. I don't have to worry about somebody else calling them before me because it's exclusive when it's given to me, and it's affordable. So I have larger profit margins running final expense than I ever did running mortgage protection. Yes, mortgage protection inflated what my total income was, but look at all the expenses I had to get there. So I have way less expenses. I have way better leads because the lead is designed to make sure that I go out there and protect the family. We're dealing with people who want our service. It's not a convoluted lead where I'm reading it and I'm like, if I saw this my first time, I didn't know that this was about life insurance. It's a lead that states that they're looking for information on life insurance. So those are the 2 big contrasts. Another one, Dave, is that I'm not competing. When you're running mortgage or you're running in a territory, you don't want nobody to encroach on your territory because you're afraid that they're going to take leads from you. Here, it doesn't matter. Somebody can run in my own backyard. I can literally cross the street from another agent and wish him well because his business isn't going to affect my business, because I still have 40 fresh leads coming in every week. I get to pick the zips. And if I'm traveling, let's say I'm going to California in March, I'm going to be taking some time off. I'm going to be out there. If I want leads, I can just pre-plan. Hey, I want, 40 leads. I want to run 2 days out there, put up a couple thousand in 2 days. And I don't have to worry about it. It's there wherever I go, wherever I need it. I can just communicate with you, Doug, the home office, on where I want these leads, but I don't have to worry about competing with someone. Me leaving for 7 days with another vendor, like, oh man, somebody's going to take those leads, or I'm still being billed for those leads and I'm not able to work. Like if I had a death in the family, David, and I need to take 2 weeks off, I know that I can take 2 weeks off and not have to worry about 5,000-6,000 being taken out of my account to fund my business, meaning employees, my office space, leads, because some of the lead vendors lock you in for 60 days where you have to pay for those leads for 60 days, even after canceling. If I have to leave because I have a death in the family, or I'm going to the Bahamas because I want a vacation because I work really hard and this job allows me the flexibility and freedom to take vacations when I want to, I know that I won't have to incur a bunch of expenses to go live the freedom that I was supposed to get. And what brought me to the industry is that I know if I left tomorrow, David, I want to go on vacation for 2 weeks. I know I'm not going to come back with a bunch of expenses. I'll actually come back with more money than I left with because of my pipeline is filled. I write business every single day. I get overrides. So that's another key thing is I don't have anybody encroaching on my territory. I'm not fighting for leads. They're all available to anybody. So anybody that wants to come in that has 0 experience, or somebody that's been at Senior Life 10 years, those leads are still available to them. I don't have the overhead of running a business. I don't have to worry about employees, office space. It's all afforded to me for free. So I just have to go to work. And then leads. We have as many leads as available as we want. So those are 3 key differences. So those that want to say I'm a broker, look at all what you're really giving up. What are you really gaining? What are you really, really gaining? Just be good at one thing, master one thing and become really, really good at it instead of a jack of all trades. Let's see who runs the race and has a better, finish at the race.
Hey, Lance, so I see some comments over here, and
what are the questions?
I got you, Lance. So it looks like, I think it's actually one of the questions I asked you when you first started with us, right? So FFL is really good at advertising their $11 lead. And I think you told me, what was the leads you're paying? $86 you're paying for leads, you told me?
Yeah, mortgage leads.
$86. And I asked you, so what's the deal with these $11 leads they're talking about? So I see people in our comments, they're asking about the $11 leads. It looks like they're thinking about maybe going with FFL. So maybe you could break down the $11 lead for us.
Okay. How fast can you call that lead? If it comes in the middle of the night, you're going to call them in the middle of the night. You're looking, if you don't mind looking for gold, you're looking for a diamond in the rough, by all means, you're going to have to buy big volume to look for those diamonds in the rough. It's not a conversion ratio where I know with Senior Life, I buy 20 leads, I'm going to have a conversion ratio of 20 to 30%. Guaranteed. I'm not gambling. I'm not guessing. I know my upfront cost to get that conversion ratio. The only variance in there is the premium amount. That's the only variance is there. That's the only thing that ever changes. I know the conversion is always going to be 20 to 30%. What can you assure me with those instant internet leads at $11? You're going to buy 1,000 of them to go what, right? What, how much? What is your guarantee you're going to make that back? There is no guarantee. There's no set percentage on conversion ratio. You're looking for a diamond in the rough. Now, can you find them? You can. I would be lying if you can. And I'm all about truth and transparency. That's why David has created this platform for us to be transparent, to speak the truth and open people's eyes and get them off the Kool-Aid. So yes, can you do the $11 leads? If you don't mind burning through them, if you don't mind having 30 of them just being completely garbage and then telling you, you're the 7th person to call me today. I told the guy before I couldn't afford it. I'm like, sir, we just spoke. What click? So if you don't mind, I mean, by all means, they're all there for the taking. If you like recycled leads, looking for fresh one in there, good luck with the gamble. But, I'd rather have an exclusive lead, never resold. Imagine that, a lead you get, but you couldn't close them on the first time you spoke because they just weren't ready. That I can come back to them in 3 weeks or a month and that's still my lead, that it wasn't given to another agent. It's there for me to talk. I called the person, they were on the phone, that maybe they were on vacation. They said, Lance, I got to hear about what you're offering, but I'm on vacation. Call me in a couple of weeks. And now I don't feel pressured that I have to sell them because that lead is going to be resold like it would be at that other previous IMO. With the lead here at Senior Life, it's there, it's exclusive. Nobody's going to encroach on that lead. That's my lead. I paid for it. I don't have to worry about it being resold. I don't want secondary leads. I want leads that are exclusive so that I can go to work, because my time is more valuable than me paying a couple of dollars less, but having to work twice as long to get the same amount of results I could have done in half the time. So, it's just, you can't have the best of both worlds in the sense, when you look at those, I'm saying, not looking at Senior Life, but at those particular leads, David, you're going to do one of one things. You're going to either pay $81 for an exclusive lead where you have to go to work, but that you can get a conversion ratio on that. You're going to make fewer calls, or you're going to spend $11, but you have to go to work and call the crap out of those leads and literally bang the phones all day to get those appointments, to get to no-shows, to where I can say, hey, skip all that. Skip the highs, the lows. Get something that's more predictable with the final expense lead offered at $25 with the conversion ratio of 25 to 30%, 20 to 30% conversion ratio. Like, that's a sure bet. Like, why would I want to go on something I can count on that's going to be there every single time? I don't want to have to be guessing 1 week where do I use this lead vendor? Next week I use this lead vendor. Oh, wait, this lead vendor is sold out for the week because everybody in this area bought from them. So now I have to figure out another vendor to get leads from. Like, Senior Life has it all. They have all the leads you ever need. You communicate and you can get drops in any area code, zip code, county, state, wherever you want it to be.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I've hired a lot of people from FFL, and every single person I talked to, I don't think one person actually was getting the $11 leads. So maybe they tried them and seen, it's a race to who gets to the person on the phone first. But yeah, but I was definitely always a question, because I definitely see that advertised hard.
Yeah.
So it looks like, some people are thanking you for explaining that to them. You might have just saved some people a lot of getting yelled at on the phone, Lance. So appreciate that, man.
David, I didn't get in this business to deal with a bunch of people and try to convince them that they need something they don't need. I didn't get in this business. I'm not selling knives. I'm not selling vacuum cleaners. I'm not selling them something they don't need. I'm giving them what they ask for. I'm taking an order. So why would I get a lead that's been trampled on, talked by so many times, when I can get just something fresh, that asks for what we want, what we offer? Why would I want to spend time speaking to people who don't want what we want, and trying to convince them that they need what we want, what we offer, when I can just come over here and talk to somebody who is looking for what we offer?
Say, man, simple enough, man. So
Simple.
superior product, superior lead program, superior mentorship, superior recruiting program. I mean,
Oh, another thing, David, before we end,
here we
let me say
go.
that, David, I call you, how many times I call you, David? Like 3-4 times a day?
Yes.
I mean, our conversations have naturally changed and evolved, because the things that initially concerned me are a lot different. And that's how a relationship should look like.
Right.
As a mentee mentor, we shouldn't be having the same conversations of my same mistakes, but you make yourself available, under the precept of, oh, well, this person's way up here, I'm never going to be able to reach them. You make yourself available to me. I had the pleasure of going to the home office in Thomasville, Georgia, you guys. I had the pleasure of speaking with Ron one-on-one. He made himself available to the whole group, but having that one-on-one time where the guy is a very humble guy who built this business from nothing and didn't go into debt to build this, so that people like myself and you can go out there and create something phenomenal for our families, rewrite our whole family history. And the guy would still make himself available. He wasn't too busy. He wasn't rushing off to go to a meeting. I need to fly here, I need to fly there. But he made me feel like he cared about me. And that's what the difference I felt working with you, David, is that you guys really do care. You guys are invested in my success, but you guys are there to make sure that it's all transparent. You guys aren't keeping the secret of like, let's just get him in so he can run business. Like, it's very transparent, and you guys make yourself available. And then having to sit down with Robert, the senior executive, the president at family at Senior Life, to sit down with him and get that one-on-one where he asked me, how can we be better? What could we do? And just like pour into me, was mind blowing.
He's actually watching right now.
Huh?
He's actually watching right now. I said, do it, Lance.
Is he? Oh,
go.
Shout out to Robert. All right, man. It's been awesome. I wrote down like 3 books that he recommended, and just really good guy, man. It was just a genuine, organic relationship.
Absolutely.
It wasn't like, hey, you have this title, I have this title, we have to meet. But it was an organic relationship. And since you and I have been getting together, David, it's just, you've been making me better. You've been elevating my game to be better at what I do, and just to be a better manager. I went to school for being managerial, and I've learned far more in this industry of what it looks like to manage people than it did, 4 years of school.
You're gonna make me blush, man. I'm gonna get ready, man. Come on.
But yeah, I just wanted people to know, like, you're available, David. You make yourself available to me, as do I for my agents. I don't want anybody to ever think that they have to do this on their own or figure it out on their own. And I felt like at previous IMOs, you're just like, hey, you fend for yourself, and the ones that rise, you spend the time with them. No, here is everybody's afforded the same opportunity. There's a system everybody can plug into, so there's no guessing on how this works. You follow the system. It's so simple. It's on the back of a business card, you guys. That's how simple it is. Call your manager a lot. If I was a manager and I wasn't able to take your calls, how could I call myself a manager? So here I am calling myself a manager, but I'm accessible to you. It wouldn't be on the back of a business card saying, call your manager a lot. The whole goal is to help you get better at your craft, so that you can protect more families, so that you make a better income, so that you're not living paycheck to paycheck, struggling or contemplating, do I go back to a $60,000 job or 25,000 or whatever it is, even 100,000. I never fathom or I would even consider ever going back to that because of the freedom that is afforded to me. But yeah, Dave, I just wanted to touch on that. I can go on for hours about this, but it's truly an honor to be in business with you because you do make yourself available. You give me so much time and so much resources to make me just elevate and challenge me as a manager to grow my agents, so I can be more challenging for them so that they grow, rather than to say, hey, do this, goodbye. Like, I challenge them. I want them to come up with solutions. How do we fix this? And that's how you make better critical thinkers, is you want people to be able to come with the solution. Hey, I'm having this problem. Okay, great, Lance. What do you think the solution is? Well, David, you're right. Maybe I should start calling agents on Tuesday night and confirming lead order day, letting them know the process. So yeah, I thank you for that, David.
No
and
problem,
thank you
brother. I
for
appreciate
hosting
you,
this,
man.
putting this together. I'm excited to see. It's not edited, you guys. This is like the real stuff. This wasn't like, Lance, here's what I'm going to ask you, answer these questions. And it's just coming just from a heart of sincerity. And like, I want you to know that everybody can win doing this. It's available and afforded to anybody who wants to put the work in, that wants to help their family and buy back their time. Like, what better pleasure to know that you have money now to go do the fun trips, but you have the time to go do the fun trips now. So you have the best of both worlds.
Awesome, man. Well, I think we definitely covered a lot. I think you're probably gonna get a lot of people in your inbox with a lot more questions. I see comments and questions now for you. We're not gonna address all of them. We'll let them find you. And man, if there's anything I do to help you win, let me know. One last thing, Robert said that he said you're the next big thing at Senior Life, and he can't wait till you get that 150% contract. So
Tell him
I
I'm
think
looking
that's
forward
cool.
to it, man. Yeah, thank you, Robert. I really appreciate it, man. It was a very humbling experience to be able to sit in your awesome office and meet your kids and everything, man. So I thank you for taking the time to get to know me as a person, not as just a producer, but an actual person.
And you got the man too. Doug Blake just messaged, man. He said he's very proud of you, man. Doug Blake, you talk a lot about my leadership and how I'm available. Well, I learned that all from him. We just keep on passing it down. I'm sure he learned it from Robert, man. So
yeah.
Again, man, really appreciate you, man. You're a superstar, and I can't wait to see where we're at in the next 12 months. We'll do a follow-up meeting, a 12-month review.
It absolutely. And David, you're a big, taught me this, is create the roadmap. I want people to see where I'm at and how I'm moving along in my journey, whether it's ups or downs, but for people to see what it looks like day to day, week to week, month to month, opposed to like, here I was and here where I am now. Like, nobody wants to just say, oh, well, he's always been that way. He's always been a, $1 million maker. But I'm going to get better at sharing on social media, which is a challenge. And I hold you to keep me accountable on this, to start sharing the details of my life and what that looks like, the everyday, day-to-day, what my personal looks like, and how I can separate the two, where you can have a big business and have a personal life, and it doesn't have to be consumed, but you can make time for the people and things that you care about.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, man. That's it, man. Can't wait to go diving with you, brother.
That's it, my man. I got my book right here. Look, open water diving. I'm ready, baby. Gotta get the head knowledge.
Go Saturday, man. We're gonna get some lobsters, man. Come on out.
Yeah, baby. Just the beginning.
But again, man, hey, everyone on Facebook that always supports us, man, that's watching us, everyone that comments, again, really appreciate you. I really appreciate all the support. Been having a ton of support since day one. All the people, in my inbox and recommended people, please, if you see this, share. You don't know who you're going to touch. You don't know whose life's going to change because of this. You heard Lance himself. He had no idea this existed. He was in a bubble. He thought he was at the greatest thing. And when he came over here, it was night and day difference for him. So please share this. Let people know what we're doing. If it's a good fit for them, great. If not, no big deal. And man, I just want to see everyone win. I love to see people win with me, but if they got to win with someone else, hey, as long as they're winning, I am happy, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
again, have a good night. And this is Ordinary People Doing Extraordinary Things. And thank you so much.
Hey, man. Thanks, David.